So you're thinking about moving to Fayetteville, North Carolina? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss with you 5 tips to help you prepare to purchase your first home or even your next home. And we're going to get at it right now. So if this is your first time to our channel, you want to go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to receive all of the important information about the current market of the great city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. My name is Michelle Capers and my husband is Smiley Capers, and we are the owners of Moving Forward Real Estate. And believe it or not, we get calls and texts and emails from clients just like you on a daily basis, and we are so excited to get to work with you as well as to meet you. Now, whether you're moving in 90 days or 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and all of our information will be in the description box below. We want to help you make a smooth move to the great city of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Cumberland County, Harnett County, and Hope County, and even some more surrounding areas. Now, let's get into that buyer tip video. Now, the first thing that you want to work on is your credit. Your credit plays an important part in just even qualifying for a home. So if you are military, you need to be working on a credit score of over 600. 600 and above is what you need to start shooting for. If you're going to get financing in FHA, the same difference. You need to have a credit score of 600 and above. If you're going USDA, your credit score needs to be 620 and above. And if you're going getting financing for conventional, your credit score also needs to be a 620 or above. Now, for the first-time home buyers, what we try to do is prep you into trying to get that credit score up to a 640 and above, because here in North Carolina, we do have the North Carolina Down Payment Assistance Program for first-time home buyers. However, your credit score has to be a 640 and above. So that is something to work on, because you will be able to qualify for $8,000 to go towards your down payment and your closing costs. So that is very important when it comes down to purchasing a home. You know, it's a lot, and there's a lot of expenses that is involved in purchasing a home. You want to prepare yourself in advance, but if you could get that credit score up as high as you can, 640 and above, that will be great, because then if you are a first-time home buyer, you will be able to qualify for the North Carolina Housing Down Payment Assistance Program, which will qualify you for that $8,000 to go towards your down payment and your closing costs. Now, the next thing that you want to try and do your best to do is pay down your debt. Debt to income ratio is very much important when it comes down to qualifying for a home. So what that means is, is how much you're making coming in and what's going out. So that's what the lenders are going to look at, when it comes down to qualifying for your home. You can make a lot of money. Let's just give it a figure of $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, what have you. But if your liability, your bills are, $4,000 a month, that is not very, that's not a good debt to income ratio. And the lenders have a specific ratio scale that they use that they would, sometimes I talk to clients and they're like, well, I can afford it. I know that I can afford it. And you probably can't afford it, because we know how to, move and shake and move our money around and do all, what we need to do to make it happen. However, when it comes down to lending, they're going to go off of a ratio, and they need you to have a certain percentage left over. They want to see that. And that's just to prepare you in the future so you're not living, on such a tight budget and from paycheck to paycheck, and you're not on that borderline of just enough. So they want to make sure that you have enough wiggle room when it comes down to your debt to income ratio. So pay down as much debt as you can. Also, with your credit card debts, let's just say you have a credit card limit of $1,000. All your credit cards, you need to get that 30% below the available credit. You don't want to max out that credit card. So you want to get that credit card, if it's $1,000 limit, you don't want to spend no more than $300 or below. Keep it below that, and then just pay on those monthly payments on time every month. Don't actually while you're in this process of building your credit, you don't want to pay off the card, and you definitely don't want to close out the account. Any account that you pay off, just leave it open, just don't use it. So again, all your credit cards that you have, all your loans that you have, you want to get them down to 30% of the available credit that you have, of your max limit. Don't spend no more than that. And once you get to that threshold, then you want to keep it at that 30% or below. Make your payments on time. If you get down to, let's say you're not planning to purchase a home for another year, of course you will be paid off that $300. Go ahead and charge it back up to that $300 and make those little bite-sized payments until you do, and just keep doing that over and over again. Believe it or not, that's going to build up your credit score faster than just paying off the card and closing it out. I don't know, really, all the odds and ends of why isn't it good to pay off a credit card and close it out? Pay off a credit card. I don't know why that is, so taboo in the credit world. But however, paying off a card and closing it out, the thing is that your lenders want to look at credit history. So keeping it open, keeping it, utilizing the credit, but not maxing out your credit, staying underneath that 30% and paying on time gives you credit history. They like to also look at diversifying your credit. So you have a car loan, you have a credit card, maybe you have a line of credit, a regular bank loan. So that is gives you a little bit of diversity in your credit profile. So that looks good to a lender. It looks like it shows them that you're responsible, because you don't have 10 credit cards that's maxed out or closed out because you don't trust yourself, because if they're open, you're going to use them. So we just kind of got to play this game until we can get you to the finish line, or get you to even the start of getting approved, and then get you to the finish line of getting your first home. So I think that was number 2. Number 3, we want you to try to save up anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, and that's just, it's nothing written in stone. This is just me being a realtor and looking at, how things are going and what clients need, whether it's a buyer's market or even a seller's market. But definitely if it's a seller's market, a lot of times the sellers is not paying for your closing costs. So you want to have $5,000 to $10,000 saved up, as much as you can. It's close to $10,000. If you don't need it, then that's good. Then once you purchase your home, then you can use your money to, possibly get furniture or whatever you need for your home. So try to get that saved up as quick as you possibly can. Also keeping your credit score, again, over 640 and above. So if you qualify for that down payment assistance, that $8,000 will be money that you can use versus using your own money. So, but you still want to prepare yourself just in case you qualify to get the home and you get pre-approved. However, you haven't met that 640 score or above, then you don't have to worry too much about, the North Carolina down payment assistance, because you already have your money prepared in advance. But if you do get over that 640, then you can utilize that $8,000 and save your money. So we always are trying to get our buyers to keep more money in their pocket as much as possible. And then you also know that VA is 0 down, and also USDA is 0 down, but those are for particular homes in rural areas. And there are certain qualifications for that as well. But that is also another avenue to go to, maybe in the Hope Mills area. And I think some of the Rayford area, if you're looking to purchase in those areas, we'll look at that home, that specific home once you find it. And then I can do a search and see if that particular home is USDA eligible. So, and that will give you another way of having 0 down. Now, your down payment and your closing costs is 2 different things. So I don't want you all to get those things mixed up, because sometimes people will say, well, I'm VA and I have, it's 0 down, and you think it in your mind, you can just come in and purchase a house with like we say, no skin in the game. You still have closing costs to pay. So just keep in mind, your down payment and your closing costs are 2 separate figures. They're two separate things all together. So even though you might come in with USDA or VA as zero down on your down payment side, on both of those financing avenues, you're still going to have closing costs to pay. So you have to have cash on hand to go into purchasing a home, period. Whether you have zero down or not, just keep that in mind. You have to have some cash on hand. $5,000 to $10,000 is a good place to start. Now, number 4 on the list is that, of course, you need to keep a steady job. Now, the lenders are looking for a year to 2 years of job experience, of course, and you saying consistent on your job. They don't want to see a month or two, of a break in income. Even a week or two could knock you out and disqualify you for purchasing a home. So when you're on your job, if you are transferring to another position, make sure that it is seamless. It is you are leaving one job and you're starting the next job the next day, or if you're leaving one job on a Friday, you're starting that next job on a Monday. So there is no break in income, because they need to see that. I think it's a year, but it may be 2. So it will not hurt, to just stay consistent on your job. Don't move around a lot. Don't get a job, here and there, because sometimes I've worked with clients and they've had a job for 3 months and then they were off for 2 weeks and then they had another, temp job for 6 months. But, they're making it, they're surviving, they're renting somewhere. So in their mind, they're good. I can do it. But you have to keep in mind what you can do is not necessarily feasible as far as what it takes to qualify for a home. It's totally 2 different, entities of what we can do and how we make money work in our own home. In order to qualify, you have to play the game. You have to do it the way that they say do it, or your other option is just to continue to rent. So there's no negotiating in that. They want what they want, and we have to get ourselves prepared to be able to give them what they want so we can get what we want. So number 5, also to add to the income, you want to make sure that you are paying your taxes. Make sure you have at least 2 years of tax returns for your last job or for your current job. 2 years tax returns. If you don't have them, if you haven't filed them, we all get behind. But if you know in advance that you're going to be purchasing a home within the next 6 months to a year, go ahead and get your stuff together. Get your taxes for the last year or 2 so you can have that, on hand when they ask for it, because they're going to ask for it. And that could be a delay and you get in this home if you find something beautiful that you like. But now we have to go through all this rigmarole and get with the IRS for, tax returns, or even for you to get your taxes prepared. We want to have that going in before we even put in an offer, because I never want to put my clients in a position that there's a possibility that you don't get totally pre-approved or totally approved through a transaction. So that's a bad spot to be in, to get approved or get submit an offer, and then you get that offer accepted, and then we have to go through stuff like the IRS to validate what you're making it, because you haven't paid your taxes, and then that might look totally different from what you're actually saying on paper. So don't want to confuse you too much on that. We just need you to, or I just would like for you to go ahead and get your taxes for the last 2 years in place. Also, your check stubs. Go ahead. It would be good to just go ahead and start saving up get your little file cabinet or box. And just when you get your W-2s, whether it's online or whether they give you a paper one, in hand, save those pay stubs, your W-2s and your pay stubs. Just put them to the side every week. Make a copy of them. If you get it online, pull it from online and print it out. And it's just put it aside so you'll have that, because they're going to want to see that. Also, keep your bank accounts clean. Pay your bills. Don't have, too much NSF fees. Everybody, forget sometimes, and we have a slip up, and sometimes things are just an accident altogether. stuff happens and things are pulled out of your account when you didn't know, and then that messes up something else. And we all have been there. So just keep your bank accounts clean, because they are going to require, at least 2 months of your bank statements. I hope this helps, because this is something that I wish I would have known, prior to me buying my first home, because it would have got you better prepared, because the home buying process is slightly stressful, but it's not as bad as it could be if you plan, if you plan ahead. And that's with anything. If you're taking a vacation, it's good to plan ahead. You don't just want to wake up one morning and just say, let's go, blah, blah, blah. Let's go do, this. It's a lot that you need to plan. You got kids involved, or pets involved, or, whatever it is involved that you need to go ahead and get those things in place before you go on this week or 2 weeks vacation. So doing stuff at the last minute could be very stressful. So what we're trying to do is put you in a position that you're at ease when you go in to purchase your first home. So we want to get you prepared. You want to work on that credit score, get it as high as you possibly can, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, so you can utilize all the benefits that you can get as a first-time home buyer. And I just want to put in add a little to this North Carolina down payment assistance. A lot of times when we talk about this $8,000, you might be under the impression of it's free money, like it's a grant. It's something that you don't have to pay back. You do have to pay this back, but it's minimal, the amount that you have to pay. So once you get qualified, and once we get to the point that you have purchased, we are closed, deed is recorded, your first payments that comes out is your PITI. You will also have a second mortgage, which will be that $8,000 that you're paying back. And for what I can remember, don't quote me on this figure, but it's about less than 50 bucks a month. It's not that bad. So, but you do have to pay that back. So I just want you to keep in mind, there'll be 2 things that you'll be paying per month: your regular mortgage payment, and you'll be paying back this down payment assistance. Yes, you have to pay it back, but it's still good. It's still good for you to have, especially if you haven't been able to make it up to that, let's just say $5,000 mark, and being able to save. That should be able to help you out a little bit with your down payment and your closing costs if you haven't been able to get all the way up to $10,000. So work on that credit, pay down your debt, don't create any more debt. You want to save between $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Stay on your job, no job hopping, stay consistent on your job, and keep your tax returns for the last 2 years. You want to keep your pay stubs for the last 6 months or so, but you can start just doing it right now, but at least just 6 months of it prior to the time that we're going to start for consistently looking for you a home. So, and then just keep your W-2s, print those things out, keep them in the file cabinet, and you should be very much prepared if you follow these steps, very much prepared in purchasing your first home. So I hope this helps. If you all have any other questions or concerns, or if you're confused about anything that I said, if you need clarity, go ahead and drop your questions in the description box below. We are here to try to make a smooth move, a smooth transition for you to move here to this great city, but also have a smooth transaction into purchasing your first home or even your next home. And as always, we are moving forward one home at a time, and we will see you in the next video.